Torah.
That's the guy who says he records everyone.
Yeah, knows a lot more than you do. I'm like, or me. How's that?
He's like a fucking, just a super troll.
Yeah, invite him up, Sam.
Invite him up, bro. His mom is gonna. It sounds like
Timothy, how much of the Torah do you know? I'm asking a real question, Timothy. How much of the Torah do you know?
I don't know what he knows. It's like he's incapable of communicating coherently with us.
So I disagree. I mean, that's between you and I guess. Sam.
Timothy, I have some bad news for you. So you know how you're my dog? You're my dog, you know? Well, it turns out the hadiths that the black dogs are all devils.
You can only be friends with white dogs, yeah.
It turns out you're a fucking devil because you're a black dog. So
it also says in the Quran, the devil has blue eyes. So at least being black reduces.
And apparently farts as well.
The probability of you being that kind of a devil.
Hey, Sam, you know about the finger licking good hadith, right?
The finger licking hadith is only good in conjunction with the Muhammad doesn't wash his hands after he shits hadith. Like those two work together nicely, but alone they're okay. It's kind of like a combo one.
If you're pouring over thousands of narrations, desperate to find the most salacious of them, you making this like big exposition and presentation just doesn't really reflect well on you, guys. I was watching this fucking gay porno last night just to find out how disgusting these gay people really are.
Okay.
I don't think it really was.
One time I would have prank war in high school with a buddy. And I filled his locker with gay porn. But you have to understand the level of failure that was for me, because I had to look at a lot of gay porn, and then print out a lot of gay porn, and then look at the gay porn while I was bringing the gay porn. But then when he opened his locker, all he had to do was just rip it down. You know what I mean? It was like basically a kamikaze strike, you know?
I think that was.
I lost my phone.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to be like, Sam, I have a continuation of.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, Sam, I have a continuation of I have the continuation of the hadith. So we're talking about wiping ass with stones, and then you eat your food, and then you have someone else that lick your finger. But did Muhammad ever do that? Did he ever wipe his ass and then go straight to eating? So here's the hadith. If you want to read my
documentary,
I guess to see a gander.
So
why are your okay, down? All right. So it says, Ibn Abbas says, the Prophet relieved himself, and then some food was brought to him, and he ate, and he did not touch water. And then Amir bin Dinar said, are you not going to wash your hands? He said, I'm not going to prayer. Why should I wash my hands? So, yeah, he eats after he did.
So what would like a
I feel it. No one thinks you're laughing sincerely. I was about like.
What do you mean? It's funny.
Obviously, you're not laughing sincerely. Obviously, like the point here was like, Sam, read this. Also, it's amusing. Let everybody know that this is something that's like weird.
It's freaking hilarious.
These are very weird.
This is true.
I promise you, it's not funny.
It is very.
That's why not only did no one else laugh, but I literally cued in your laughter because I knew it was going to be contrived. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why that's like weird. That's why people are pretty convinced it's not funny.
Okay, so Sam. So when it comes to down to if I'm looking at the different religions, so what happens today? I'm saying today, if
what's it been like? 4 years?
8 years, 7 months, 6 days. I haven't forgotten. The last time I saw you, I didn't see you since you left.
Jewish.
I do need you, Jane. You're alive. Great to have you on the battlefield, fighting war side by side, but that hammer is killing you every time you use it. It's draining all of your mortal strength, leaving your body unable to fight the cancer.
Like the farmland.
Well, this before I knew you might not have.
I like a true soda.
Yeah. So what happens today?
I've
if that is to happen?
And you want me not to do that? What's the point of more
So
time
usually what
like
happens is
this?
the Jews go,
Because I love
who
you.
gives a fuck? And they move on with their
And
lives.
this is a chance for us.
So,
Put
like,
that
if they,
damn hammer
so
again.
they, I'm dealing
Chance is
with
gone.
that. Like, I'm Jewish right now, and I'm trying to teach my children. This is how we're going to deal with them. All right, kids. I really want
In the UK, they're not allowed to, like,
you
Jewish
to be
people.
on stage.
What's
Yeah,
it
but
about?
not Jewish people in the UK.
Right now, we gotta say it.
So they're not allowed to basically press charges against each other, like as in
In
using like
America,
a secular police force. No,
let's pretend we're in America.
I think it's just like religious law. Obviously, not many people are going to observe it. I think
Okay.
probably a lot of people will settle their disputes using whatever, like the secular legal system. But
Right.
there's been historic cases in the UK where judges have basically complained and have criticized the Jewish like community because basically they just won't testify against Jewish like suspects or whatever
Really?
because of their religious obligations and stuff.
Here's what I find. As a Jew,
Yeah,
when another Jew gets in a fight with another Jew, it's like, you'll hear from my lawyer. And then Jew goes, you'll hear from my lawyer. And he's like, my lawyer is named Moshe Goldstein. He's like, well, that's my lawyer. And the lawyer is like, oh, come on. I mean, you guys are both my clients. Come on. You guys don't need to fight. And then they all chuckle and hug it out. That's usually how it goes.
Oh my God, there should be a remake of like Blazing Saddles. But okay, so seriously, what Timothy just said is true. Like that Sam, that's what you're saying. Like that makes sense what he's saying. But so that's
Are you just asking
what
questions, Kitty, or is there like a point you're trying to?
No, well, first of all, like, what I'm hearing from Sam is that he's got this room going, and he's saying these hadiths, and now, although a fellow, I'm assuming, Christian, Anders, who sounds very intelligent when it comes to his faith, and
That's a
he's
lie.
very...
Come on, Chrissy, that's a lie.
No, I will defend that. I don't care if the guy calls me everything else but white.
And resentful. Sounds like we
Hey, well, that's each their own. When it comes to intelligence and actual... And in faith, that's different than being an asshole.
He sounds upset all the time. It's very lachrymose. Sounds like he's on the verge of tears every time he
They
speaks.
say a lot of stuff about me. But so what I'm saying is like somebody like that would like completely look at me like I can't see two sides of the field. I think the entire time I can laugh when they say certain things about it because I know the truth about where my religion and faith stands today. You know what I'm saying? When I think about you're right. So when I think about Jews or Muslims, if what I'm hearing Sam had a whole room after room after room question with this dude named Phoenix after question about the Hadith, that question about the Hadith, they're talking to these people and they're saying, hey, here's a Hadith about something that applies to time frame historically that is not about today. Right? But they're not doing this. They're not. It sounds disingenuous, is what I'm saying. Because if you ask a Jewish person the same question, I mean, outside of a cute, funny joke that Sam's making, I'm not getting really any kind of truth. But
so basically, this is a really good moment to illustrate my assessment.
Are you going to actually watch my question?
No, I'm being serious. The level of anti-Semitism in America and amongst which demographics. Because even though she's diametrically opposed to Muslims in this culture war, she's going to take a moment when she sees a Jewish person who she considers a mortal enemy. Okay, who's like relishing in the fact that Muslims have like ridiculous commitments, and she's gonna put down. He too, this Jewish man, he too has those commitments. And that's interesting. Maybe a black person in this position.
And you have like in your life, and not because I'm older than you. I'm
I don't
saying
know
that.
what you're talking about. How old are you, Christy?
Much older, probably old enough to be your mother. But notwithstanding,
How old are you? Older than Daniel Nero?
I should be. No, I think we're about the same age.
Maybe a little bit older than me.
I think he's about maybe 3 years older than me. But Daniel, I don't know if he's white.
How old are you, Christy?
Fuck. Okay, wait a minute. How are we doing this? Like I thought we were friends.
I'm just interested.
Anyway, if I could just round it off with Sam.
So you're married?
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
Finally found something, Christy.
I don't know. Let's make Timothy's a gentleman on the stage. How many women do you ask what their age is? Aren't you from England? I'm 40. How old are you?
Well, my dad is not 40.
What's your weight? What's your shoe size?
about 230 now.
And how tall are you?
6'3".
Yeah, I'd like to see pictures of that because it sounds like you got little man complex. But that's beside the point. Now that we've made this a personal thing, forget it, Sam. I don't have a question.
You just made it.
I mean, like, you're the one asking a woman what her age is. You should ask a woman.
Everything about
I suppose.
Is it appropriate to ask a woman her age? I don't think I have to explain that.
Yeah, in this context, yeah.
Timothy is. Are you attracted? Is that what this is?
No.
Alright, so I want to tell you guys a funny story. I'll never get you the tale. So I was talking about the story of Muhammad's second wife, whose name is, I think it's Sanad. Wait, hold on.
Aisha? Aisha's the second wife.
No, that's not his second wife.
It was Khadija, then it was Aisha. Who else would it be?
Oh, here we go, another room. How long will this one waste your lives? How many hours? It's a beautiful day outside. You guys just keep talking about the same shit every single day, making no advancement while your personal life burns to the ground. Is it worth it? I'm asking a question. Is it worth it? All communication is projection. It's all projection. I'm just asking a question. How badly has your personal life suffered from being here all the time talking about the same shit? Isn't this just a modern day psychiatric holding facility? How long are you guys gonna do this? Do you guys have a hope for the future?
You literally beat the fucking Hadith pornographer. Like you know more about Islam than the guy who literally just pours over.
Dude, I'm for training. All you need to do is give me like a week of reading something, and I'll beat the fucking experts, brother.
Oh my.
There's like multiple empty rooms with the same recordings in them. He's the only one in there. Like, what? I don't know what the fuck this is.
That's like the nightmare version of Dark Arianas. Darth Arianas. He just feels very righteous that he likes to tell people that they're wasting their time talking about stuff and arguing about stuff. He feels superior to other people in some way.
It's not superiority. I think I'm accurately diagnosing the problem by saying you're all stroking your egos and wasting your time. Prove me wrong.
Like a human being, you gotta act like a clown online. You can't actually.
It's all just comedy at the end of the day. It's all pathetic. You don't even know you're a comedian. That's up with. Let's see. Where's the other foot? Oh, I want to hear the follow-up.
So, Andrew, what do you think about Venus's brutal takedown of psychophysical harmony? Yeah, did you hear what he was saying?
You guys are going to talk about yesterday or today? I mean, any new topics? Anything interesting?
You can't actually have a life. Go outside.
Are you triggered? Do we have one more? Can we keep it going?
Thank you.
And kick me for one more. Oh man, we're gonna make it a fucking perfecta. I don't know if they kick me for that one.
Against the U.S. Constitution
and our U.S. government, like all of us old retired people, will bring everything that we have to a collection point, and it'll be a fucking world that you'll never see on American soil.
Well, I hope that will not come to this.
Dude, I hope it comes on board.
Well, people will die. Innocent people.
Yeah, a lot. Not as many as Americans.
I'm talking about innocent American people will die.
Yeah. Anyway, please try.
What do you mean? If you have like a war inside America,
Please try. You know there are more guns in America than there are Americans in America?
So Americans will die. I mean, you're proving my point. Like, why are you?
Yeah, but how are you going to get here and be an ineffective like unit against Americans? Like you might get here with 100 people, but you might only live for like a day or two. You all die.
But there are other Americans. You're fighting other Americans, dude. Do you understand?
No,
this?
we're getting our illegals out of our country.
I'm talking about the legal ones. All of them are legal, not the illegal ones. It's not.
Well, if you're a legal person that is literally trying to like stop the arrest of an illegal because you're legal, you're obstructing justice, and that's a physical form. And now you're breaking the law, and I'm going to put you in jail for 2 years because you're obstructing justice.
Literally, we're having like two different conversations.
No, I don't think you realize that the protesters, for everyone that like puts hands anywhere near a cop, yeah, they get 2 years at a minimum.
Yeah, I wasn't talking anything like even remotely about this. That's fine.
Well, we're talking about like, if it's good for the goose.
Exactly what it's called.
You want to talk about?
It was the Prophet Muhammad was having multiple wives because for a reason, okay, and just no hadith and no somebody spoken on his tongue to say that he does something like that. Okay, if you died like 100 years ago, and I said like, okay, you just insulted Kitty in the middle of the room, who will believe? I think everybody will believe because there's no evidence for something like that. In fact, you did nothing to Katie. Just for people who want to destroy Islam's the idea, okay, he's a Muslim.
Yeah, they do the same thing.
Let's find anything trash.
Right, they do the same thing about the Bible. Yeah, that was weak, Phoenix. I mean, you could have fed Sam a better
It's not
Bible.
only for Islam, it's for all the religions. Because there's a lovers for something, there will be a haters. But this is very rude. This is very rude. Now there's something called Rami al-Muhsanat. Rami al-Muhsanat. What Rami al-Muhsanat means? This is something in Islam and all the religions that you're saying that something happened and you didn't see it with your eyes. If I just say, okay, anybody, let me make about me. So, okay, my friend said, Marley, okay, she fucked up with Andrew, let's say, okay? She will go to hell because she didn't see what happened and she's spoken by her mouth for something she has never seen. So this is really
Okay, we do this to Christian.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that.
What is your opinion?
Well, wait a minute.
You guys are claiming
Okay, so I'm having a look now on the research, okay?
Yeah, you are casting aspersions on me and saying that I'm making this up.
Muhammad and his
What
wife.
shall do?
And
We'll
I
look
can
at
tell.
Hold up, Marley. This is when you win. They stand on it.
You guys are fucking pieces of shit. I fucking hate you guys. I literally hate you guys. Okay, Sahih Bukhari. This is narrated by Aisha. This is from Sahih Bukhari. When Sauda bint Zama became old, she forfeited her day to Aisha, and the Prophet used to spend time with Sauda's night, spent it with Aisha. This is in various compilations from Bukhari to Muslim. Now, also in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, this is narrated by at-Tirmidhi on the authority of Ibn Abbas. He said, Sauda feared that she would be divorced by the Messenger of Allah. So she said, don't divorce me, please. Keep me with you, and I'll give you my day that you spend with me. You can give it to Aisha.
Have you been there? He wasn't did you see them? Okay, I will say something.
Have you seen Muhammad in order to know if Islam is
That
true?
logic, do we know about Noah? Did we see the flood?
God he was even real.
Ah, come on, Buster, you can't win this one. Yeah, give it to the 8.
By that logic, do you have a brain? I haven't seen it.
I just want
There's plenty of people that
Why
can
do you
do
have to say
that.
it? Okay,
Marley,
you know, I
you
respect
accuse
you.
me of having
I
no
don't know what is what's your
Marley,
beliefs,
Marley,
okay?
Marley, you accused me of having no evidence. Now I just read 2 different hadiths, and I gave you 2 different scholars.
Tell me what are the hadiths.
And now you should now say, Sam, I apologize. I thought you had no evidence, but I was wrong.
Please tell me, okay, where is this hadith? This is not in the link?
No, it's not in the link. This is not in the link, and that's what I'm trying to look up, and I don't see it either. So, hey, Phoenix.
If this link is written by somebody and this one just
As a Sam's mouthpiece, why don't you explain why Sam's coming up with this
I
response?
can write something and just send you a link for it.
Exactly, yeah.
So what do you want?
Yeah, we can just write whatever we want. Stick it in
So
the chat.
I can just go right now to Sunnah.com. All right. So if I want to, first of all, I said it was in Tabari, and I gave you my source right there, so you can actually see it. But if you go to Sunnah.com right here, and then go press in the search bar, say Sauda, right? The word Sauda, right? And then look what it says. Oh, there are many ones about Sauda. The first thing that comes up, Sunan Ibn Majah, 1972. Narrated from Aisha that when Sauda bint Zam'a grew old, she gave her day to Aisha, and the messenger of Allah went to Aisha on Sauda's day. What else does it say here? Bulugh al-Maram, 755. Aisha narrated Sauda, the wife of the Prophet, asked his permission on the night of al-Muzdalifah to leave earlier to Mina. She was a heavy and slow woman, meaning fat, huge lady. In other words, the Prophet gave her permission agreed upon. And the list just keeps going on and on. Sunan Abu Dawud, 2138. Aisha's wife of the Prophet reported, when Allah's apostle intended to go on a journey, he cast lots amongst his wives, and the one who was chosen by lot went on in it with him. He divided his time, day and night, and for each his wife, except that Sauda, daughter of Zam'an, gave her day to Aisha. We know where this story comes from. So it just keeps going. Sunnah Abi Dawud, 3715. I can just keep reading this over and over. And which one is yours, Sam?
I posted
I don't know.
I posted it in the link on the top of the chat. So I pinned the link to my Gemini conversation, and you can just follow all of the fucking links that it gives you multiple different citations. You can just follow them all up.
Thanks, Sam. Can you click the link that Phoenix put in the chat? Because I just clicked it and I looked at this very, I would say, expose that's like an investigative journalism. If you look at the context that comes with this that he put in there, this is very, very, I would say, Islamophobic. And I'm a Christian. I am a super Christian that definitely not Muslim, right? All right, click on that link and look at where the authors of that link come from.
Katie, I want to say something, Sam. Let's say, okay, what you are telling happened, okay, which I 100% don't believe. What's your problem? But this will never happen, okay? But what's your problem? Why are you talking for something you have never seen? What's this?
What's my problem?
Not strong. There's nothing said. Okay,
Marley.
let's say I'm just
You
giving
haven't
you
seen
an
the
example.
eyes of eyes.
Real
How do you know
yeah.
it's in Marley with Marley? How do you know it didn't happen? You can see the
Marley, do you have a brain?
Yeah, I have a brain
How do I know you have a brain since I haven't seen it?
because I'm human.
But that's your logic, right? How do you know if you're not there? Well, how do I know you have a brain? What kind of logic is this? Do you understand? It's ridiculous.
So you're comparing something that doesn't relate to the topic. That's what you're doing.
It's exactly what you're asking for. You say you've never been there. How do you know? Well, I've never seen your brain either. So how do I know you have a brain?
So as I'm talking, if there's something bad, I hear something bad. Let's say I hear, let's say Katie. I don't mean anything, Katie. Okay. Let's say I hear that Katie have done something, a trash thing. Okay, I hear that. Should I spread that over the world? Okay. And by the way, Katie have never done that.
Okay, so
That's the same thing. That's what can I relate to?
okay. So I'm taking reliable Ibn Kathir, Tabari, the Hadiths. There are multiple different sources of evidence that this happened. Now, because there's evidence that there's good evidence that it happened, you should believe that it happened. Now that I believe that it happened, I can say evaluate the character of a man who doesn't love his wife enough that when his wife says, "Hey, please don't divorce me. I know I'm getting old and I know I'm kind of fat, but please don't divorce me," you would expect a decent man to say, "You're my wife. That is a sacred trust between us. I will protect you. I will protect you until the day you die. I don't care if you're ugly. I don't care if you're
I'm not wasting my time.
Wait, do you not know how to control yourself? None of you know how to control yourselves. None of you know how to control yourselves. You're like pieces of shit. Okay, I'm explaining my perspective, which is if someone says, their wife says, "Hey, I'm scared you're going to divorce me because I'm a little bit old." I married you because I love you, not because you're young and pretty. I married you because I want to spend my life with you. I love you, and you have been a good wife to me. And I'm not just me here because you're a hottie. That's not the only reason why I love you. And also, I know that if I divorced you, you'd be in a lot of danger because our society doesn't make it easy for widows and single women to be alone in this world. So of course I'm not going to divorce you. So that's what Muhammad should have said. But instead, what he said is, "You're right. I will fuck Aisha. Instead of spending time with you, I'm going to spend my time with Aisha because I like young pussy and I don't like spending time with you because you're old and ugly." That is not the behavior of a good man. It's the behavior of someone who doesn't even know what love is. He doesn't know what marriage is. It's a despicable behavior of someone who uses women as cum buckets rather than human beings on which to have relationships with. It is cruelty. It is not seeing a woman as a human being, someone who has value for the things in their head, their thoughts and their feelings. It's seeing some women purely as a sex object. It is the most objectifying thing. I don't even think objectivism is that bad in the sense of finding women hot. But to say that to a woman, "I've dedicated my life to you, but now you're a little ugly, I'm going to have to divorce you," that is despicable behavior. And there's good evidence that it happened. It's Tabari, it's the Hadith, it's Ibn Kathir. There's lots of evidence that it happened. And you are following a man who does not know what love is, who does not know how to protect a woman, who does not know how to say to a woman, "I know you're insecure, but I love you. I love you and I will spend my life with you." Why? Because you are my wife, and it is my duty as a husband to protect you. No, he says, "Let me fuck the young hot girl instead of you, and stop complaining or I'll divorce you." That is the behavior of a fucking scoundrel. A scoundrel. And you're saying he's good? What is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Why do you follow this man?
Sam, I think your blood pressure just went up. Brother, well said. What else can you say other than that? But let me read something else that I actually, since someone actually brought this up and said, who was it, Dr. D? He's not here, but it was funny that he was saying that, it was just a little smooch, like it wasn't sexual the way that Muhammad kissed his grandson. You tell me, I'm going to read this from you. So there are 3 different hadiths in this. One is an Hakim, and the other is 4791. The other one is Al-Mustadrak al-Sahihain, which is 4791 as well. And 4820, my apologies. And the other one is Musnad Ahmad 16848. So here are all 3 of them. Narrated by Abu Huraira, the first one. I have not stopped loving this man after I saw the Messenger of Allah do what he did. I saw Al-Hasan in the lap of the Prophet. He put his fingers in the beard of the Prophet, and the Prophet put his tongue in his mouth, and then he said, "Oh Allah, I love him, so love him." And the other one goes, the second hadith goes, narrated by Ya'la al-Amri, he put one hand under the back of his neck and the other under his chin. Then he placed his mouth on his mouth, kissing him. Yes, the third one. This one's the most graphic one out of all of them, narrated by Muawiyah, which is, by the way, one of the caliphs. I saw the messenger of Allah suck his tongue, or he said his lip, meaning that Al-Hasan ibn Ali, peace be upon him, and no tongue or lip that have been sucked by the messenger of Allah will be tormented in hell. You tell me that's not sexual. That's pretty darn sick.
Yeah, it seems pretty sexual. As I said, I'm not particularly bothered by the gay stuff that Muhammad does. Like, I'm happy to grant that Muhammad did some gay stuff, but like that, I mean, maybe the Muslims don't want to grant it, but I don't care. What I care about is silly stuff and evil stuff, not gay stuff.
Yeah, but what really gets me is I can contextualize this. I can find a reason to say that at that time and in that place, that wasn't so out of place. But the question is, what is this supposed to show? What sort of, value or teaching through the ages should be derived from that? Because it's something that happened during the lifetime of Muhammad, and it was between him and his grandson, and it would not affect believers like hundreds of years down. I don't see why such a hadith are actually in there. I really don't see the reason why. Why? Cui bono?
Yeah, I don't know who benefits from having them in there. I just think that these texts are like, at the time they had different moral priorities than us. So they didn't realize how offensive it would seem. Just like in the future, when everyone's eating lab-grown food, and they're like, wait, hold on, what did you do to animals? We just don't see it as bad. They didn't see, all this stuff about, oh yeah, of course you divorce a woman because she's ugly, or of course you crucify someone for doing mischief in the land. And they didn't realize that, oh yeah, maybe in the future people will think different about this. But,
yeah.
I don't know. Muhammad's character, he's not a nice man. Muhammad is not a nice man. The thing about Sauda offends me more than a lot of these other stories, because
but that's the story. That's what I'm trying to get to.
No, but
I mean, just 1 minute before. I have to say, and I really apologize in advance if I offend anyone in the audience or throughout the world by saying this, but I'm not really sure how a reliable a source Aisha is when she talks about stuff that concerns her. Yeah. And I certainly don't consider Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan a reliable source. No matter how clean the narration chain below them is, I'm not sure how valuable they are as witnesses to these things.
Okay, so I just want to say something. What's the actual hadith source that is authentic that says something like that? I never, ever, ever heard of anything like this. And even if you bring, I want to actually go and read a source from sunnah.com. Bro, I clicked the link you sent, right? It doesn't say that. It's talking about Adam and Eve. Okay, so I'm just going to be really clear right now. Bring me the source, and it must be a hadith that is authentic. Because otherwise, I will call you a liar if you say Islam says so.
Click on the Gemini, look at the pinned link. Do you not see the pinned link?
No. I don't care about the Gemini. Give me the number.
Go to the pinned link. It tells you all the citations are there.
Okay, but why can someone just send it?
I already have the information. It's right there, man. Just click on it.
Okay, let's go into. It's weird that it comes from you and not the one who said it, but okay.
Oh, I'm talking about the Sauda story. I'm not talking about the kissing of the boy story. I don't know.
Oh, you want the source for the kissing of the boy story? I can do that if you want.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically about what you just read. Because, hey,
Which one?
The thing that he kissed a boy or a man or whatever.
Yeah. All right, then post. Yeah, fine. Fine.
Yeah, that specifically.
That already,
This
but
is a clear flag.
I already posted it on the side chat, but I'll find it again.
I clicked on your link. It speaks of Adam and Eve. What do you mean?
What does it? You must have clicked on. I've sent a lot of links up in this on the chat.
Okay, maybe I got it confused, but just clarify it. Want the source?
Sure. Let's go and get the source.
From an authentic hadith.
An authentic hadith for you?
Yeah, I never heard anything like this within Sahih al-Bukhari, Muslim, never. What are you talking about?
So we got Musnad Ahmad here, so let me just bring it up. Here it is. So this is from. So I'm just putting it again on the side chat for you guys. There you go. Alright, let's check this out. Alright, this is from
A Reddit source. Okay, let's read it, but it's from Reddit. Okay, just keep that in mind.
Apparently these are all rated as Sahih. That's interesting. Okay, so you got narrated by Abu Huraira. I've not stopped loving this man after I saw the messenger do what he did. I saw Al-Hassan sitting by the Prophet. He put his fingers in the beard of the Prophet, and the Prophet put his tongue in his mouth. Then he said, "Oh Allah, I love him so much." And then narrated by Ya Allah Amiri, he put one hand under the back of his neck, then under his chin. Then he placed his mouth on his mouth, kissing him. Narrated by Mu'ayyiyah, I saw the messenger suck on his tongue, or he said his lip, meaning that Al-Hassan ibn Ali, peace be upon him, and no tongue or lips have been sucked by the messenger. No tongue or lips have been sucked by the messenger of Allah will be tormented, no. And it says all of these hadiths are classed as Sahih.
So actually, look what I'm gonna do, okay? Because first of all, the first red flag is from a Reddit link, okay? So clearly, Phoenix was not honest on his initial research. He didn't went on a Muslim website to search actual Muslim hadith. No, he actually went probably on Google and said, let's find out something about Muhammad. And then the first thing that appeared was a Reddit link with an image, a picture someone could have written down himself, right? So I think this is a red flag for me from the start, okay? But I'm gonna give attention to it. I'm gonna actually try to find this source in a official website. So yeah, let's see if this is actually honest or dishonest. I'm curious. Plus, I'm going to read this in Arabic, obviously, because we want to see what it says in the original. Anyone could, that's the point. Anyone could take any text, switch it up and just twist the meaning out of it and try to make it a...
Cool, so I'm now on hadithunlocked.com, and it says, I still love the man after seeing him kiss the boy on the tongue or whatever. And it is rated as Dahabi, which is rated as sound. Okay. So it's a sound hadith. Okay, so that's one there.
Here it says, by the way, I just want to say this. The first search I did, Qaboos is labeled not to be taken as a proof for weak memory. This is the first search. Simple search. That's the first thing I see. And the Reddit source says it's an authentic hadith. This is obviously, there's an obvious contradiction. That's first. So yeah, you could...
I'm on hadithunlocked.com, and this one says it's a sound chain. It says it's Arnaut. I don't know what that means exactly. Arnaut.
Could you do you mind sending me the reference?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let's see what Arnaud means. Oh, he's a scholar. And that scholar said that it's a sound chain. Cool, so famous scholar said this is a sound chain. And it says, I saw the messenger licking his tongue or kissing his lips of the boy. Cool. This is, you're being fucking denialist about this stuff. This thing is there are multiple sound hadiths that say that he's kissing young boys with his tongue. And you're just like, no, I don't believe it. You can just literally take the image that's from the Reddit, punch it in the ChatGPT, say, give me citations on these, and follow the links for the citations, and it'll take you to the site that I just found, which is hadithunlocked.com, and it'll tell you who graded it and who was the scholar that decided it was authentic.
Look, I'm on an official website right now, okay? Look what it says.
So am I. Hadithunlocked.com is
okay,
official.
Could you send a link so then I understand where, like, what you're looking?
Why are people so fucking unfathomably lazy? Unfathomably lazy. I just told you the easiest thing I did in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
I took the image, I put it in ChatGPT, I said, give me a citation, and then it gave me a link. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. And these people are so fucking lazy. Okay.
Or even pin it above, I don't know.
Alright, there. Hadithunlocked.com 4791. Can you now look at the link that you made me go get for you, even though it was trivial for you to get for yourself? There's some fucking gall of some people. Oh, I don't believe it until you give me the link, even though the link is trivial to find. And then I fucking find the link, you don't even click it. I'll read the hadith from hadithunlocked.com. The narration is from Abbas Muhammad, Yaqub, to Al Hassan, Afan, to Himani, to Sufyan, to Abu Hind, to Muhammad Sirin, to Hurayan. I still love this man after seeing the Prophet of Muhammad do what he was doing. I saw Hassan come to the Prophet's room, and while he's putting his fingers to the Muhammad beard, I saw the Prophet putting the tongue in his mouth. And they said, oh Allah, I love him so much. You should love him. And it's created a sound. It's created a sound.
Okay, so I read this one. Okay, this is talking about like one of his grandchildren. He was a baby. Okay, but even that, I'm gonna say there's an official. I'm on an official website. It gives the grading of that hadith. Please, could you at least do a copy, paste it on ChatGPT, and say grade that hadith if it is authentic or da'if. Here I have 3 independent sources that says it's da'if. It's not even authentic.
Even if it was not, even if it was authentic, what's the problem with it? In the States, the woman.
It means if it's not backed up by a change,
Understood.
chain of narration, it's just
in the States, women kiss their sons on the mouth, and they do that. So do they say that? Oh, this is disgusting. What is that? Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
No one tongue kisses their child. No one tongue kisses their child. Why do you consider tongue kissing like, I don't know, like maybe they did not have the idea of tongue kissing as a sexual thing? You know, it's French. French word. It says the prophet
I'm just saying this is a Shia report.
When the prophet put his tongue in his mouth, when it says that the prophet put his tongue in his mouth,
I shouldn't interpret that to mean he put his tongue in his mouth? Is that what you're trying to get me to say?
This is what I said. I said that it was not interpreted as sexual thing.
No. Listen. I'm just saying that this is a source.
You're laughing. Give me your answer.
Would you allow me to put tongue in your son's mouth?
Sources.
Because now
let's establish this. Second of all, if you look at what they themselves say, there's 3 independent sources. Look, I could quote it to you. Ibn al-Khattan, Ibn al-Salah also graded this report as da'if. Okay, first one. Here another one. Yaman bin Sa'id al-Masisi, who is ranked as da'if. Another one. Like, all the sources, just, it doesn't take much. You take it, you look if there is a break in the chain. If there's a break in the chain, it's just a rumor. It's not authentic. And people is going to go specifically in our graded narrations that are weak in order to kind of bring a claim. It doesn't work like this. You have to take from authentic sources. Now, the Reddit claim or the Reddit polemy could say, yeah, oh, look, this is authentic. But yeah, he could lie. He could just take something from our weak sources and say it's authentic, and then everyone believes it. I'm going to show you the proof of what I'm saying. I'm going to send the link right now. Yeah, for me.
So I'm reading it right now. It shows as Sahih. I'm showing that it shows as Sahih. But you know, listen, I'm showing that it shows as Sahih. Are you hearing me? Am I audible? Sam, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm showing it as a Sahih narration. Grading by Al-Hakim. Al-Hakim graded his hadith as authentic according to the conditions of Sahih Muslim. Grading by Al-Dahabi. Agreed with Al-Hakim's grading his Taqis al-Mustadrak. Confirmed it as Sahih. So there you go. So I'm not showing what you're saying. I'm showing that it's being graded as Sahih.
Okay, go to the link I sent you right now.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's going to be competing gradings, right? On one hand, some people say it is Sahih and other people say it is Da'if. So now you've got competing problems because there's some people that say it's not. I mean, you're trying to say that it's 100% Da'if. Yeah, I mean, with all that's not true. That's not according to you do some search.
No, it is. You took that source from a Shia tradition, and from the Shia tradition, you went out and you took it from the weakest source they have. Bro, they say, look at the link I sent you. They themselves will say to you, it's a weak source. It's not authentic. Look it up.
Yeah,
So no, I just did look it up, and this is not a Shia source. So I asked, is this a Shia source? And it says no. Al Mustadrak, Al Sihiyan by Al Hakim. Yeah, it is a Sunni Hadith collection. So you're not lying.
So here's another one here from Adil al-Mufrad. Same hadith, by the way, Al-Adil al-Mufrad 1183, and it's been graded by Sahih by Albani himself. Sorry, Hassan by Albani himself. So this has actually been graded as Hassan by Albani himself. And you know, Albani is probably one of the greatest muhaddiths there is. So if you're going to go against Albani in this regards, then go ahead, try doing that.
Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna do it like that. If you present a claim like this, you want to claim it's sahih, you have first to quote me the musnad. I want to hear the musnad actually. So then we will make sure you're actually going to the sources. So cite me the musnad. I want the verified chain one by one, all the names. Present them to me right now with who said it, like who reported, who said it was authentic. Go ahead. If you're not able to do this, you're the liar, because I'm going to do it.
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't stand here every time. Every time we have to give you the whole chain of narration. It's like it's not every time you say now notice the standard here. Now notice the standard. Guys, now notice the standard here. Now, first of all, these are muhaddithin. This is literally their job to actually grade hadiths. Now he wants to be a muhaddith. He wants to be like those guys who have actually sat down and have gone through isnad chains and have actually did their work and have come to a conclusion and say, now I'm the one who's going to come to a conclusion. Give me the isnad chain for that. See the standard?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
He's not going to ijaza to say that I can do whatever hadith is right, Hasan or Sahih. Did you see the crazy standard here, guys?
Okay, no, that's not actually what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the following. I just showed you a source, direct source, where you could read it. There's 3 independent scholars that will tell you why it is da'if. And then...
I quoted Al-Albani.
This listen, this guy is saying the opposite. So therefore,
this is Albani.
Investigate.
Hold on,
Who's my proofs? You're gonna have to recite your proofs. If you can't do so, you're a liar.
This is Albani giving his rating.
You made a mistake. You sent a link to a different hadith that is graded. You sent the one where he's allegedly kissing the genitals, not to the one where he's sucking on his tongue.
That's the one we're talking about. No.
No. If you go further up, they were talking about a different one. You mixed them up.
I'm gonna just 1 moment. Let's see.
Doctor, could you move yourself to hear funny noises coming from your face?
Sorry.
I, by the way, linked my source for the isnad chain for Albani that says Hassan.
Yeah, basically, like you're saying that the Prophet sat with his grandson and molested his mouth in a mosque where people could go in. So is that your claim? Does anyone claim that the Prophet went into a mosque with his grandson, who was like literally a baby, and started doing something sexual to him, and it was not okay at the time? That's how you argue it, I mean.
Okay, now we have the link to the actual Sonar.com. And I mean, you will see it's not the one that you referenced. You referenced one where it's talking about genitals. I've heard about this one as well. It's not that one.
Okay, no, I thought we were.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's so many.
This is my mistake. I'm gonna research the other.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And again, I personally, I don't see the relevance of such a hadith. I wonder why such things are narrated. At that time and in that place, this meant nothing. I don't even see what is to be imitated. What does this hadith teach the faithful? Yeah, I'm not saying this is wrong, or this particular hadith to which Phoenix Fly just sent the link in Sunnah.com. What is the value for the believers to narrate something like that? I really wonder.
So what are we doing now?
Yeah, I'm literally saying now. I'm trying to find who reported that. What's the chain? Is it authentic? So now this is a research I'm doing. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you if this is truly authentic or not. That's basically.
Well, it's Sunnah.com and it quotes Al-Albani as grading it Hassan. So there you go. I'd actually myself be interested to see the full chain, to see who is at the very, very beginning of that chain. Because I think that is far more important than than the actual chain. But never mind.
Well, according to what I have, it says Abu al-Abbas Muhammad ibn Yaqub. Right, that's the first. And it goes to that, to al-Hassan. From that, to Abu Yahya, and then from Sufyan, to Nuayan, and Muhammad ibn Surin, and Abu Hurairah. There is a chain. It's not like there's not a chain. There's a chain here that shows that that came from something. Right?
Could you say
chain of 8 narrators before Al-Hakim recorded his collection, right? So there was 8 narrators prior to Al-Hakim that narrated that same one. So what happens is you'll just move the goalpost and go, well, that's not enough. It needs to be 9, or it needs to be 10, or whatever, right? Nothing's going to satisfy him because he just wants to say it's Daif. And no evidence to the contrary will make you change.
So I just looked it up. So
did I.
Did some people say it's Hassan? The answer is yes. Okay, there are people who said this is Hassan, but there's actually contradiction. Why? Because here I see that Ibn al-Qittan al-Fasi, he said that it is Daif because it is considered by Abdurrahman al-Jarashi, who is majhul. We say he's unknown. People don't actually know.
Yeah, but remember, you started off saying it was fully Shia and it wasn't even like worth your time, right?
Listen,
and then we showed you that wasn't true.
There was a mix-up.
I thought it was about another quotation. Sorry, that was another place. Now I'm specifically on. Here it is. It's Musnad Ahmed, number 16, 848. That's the one.
But the point is what happens is if you get a bunch of people that are saying that it's Amis Hassan or Asahi, right? And then you got one person saying no, it's Daif, right? You're not going to be able to stand here with a straight face and tell us that it's just a Daif hadith, and we were just ridiculous for even saying anything about it, right?
It's scholars that said it because there's a variant. There's a variant of the same report. Since there's a variant of the same report, and in the chain there's someone who's unknown, there's a red flag there already.
Okay,
because the
sorry, I just wanted to intervene on certain things.
It's so much more. So the definition of confirmation bias is when any evidence you don't like, you go, am I forced to believe it? And anything that like you want to believe, you go, am I allowed to believe it? Like you're a different Christian, you have different standards of evidence for things that you don't want to believe versus what you do want to believe. That's just the definition of fucking confirmation bias. That's why everyone is fucking living their little deluded bubbles of confirmation bias. So when we're showing you evidence that is graded as Sahih or Hassan, you should go, that is evidence that is those things. That you finding one guy in Sahih does not then tell you that, oh yeah, it's definitely not fucking Sahih. You should say, oh, well, here are multiple people saying it's Sahih and Hassan, and you found one person, and then you shouldn't fucking do confirmation bias. You should weigh them equally.
I got you, but what I'm saying is this. The first initial claim I heard, and I don't know if the Reddit, I'm going to look up after what the Reddit post says, okay? The first claim I heard was that the hadith was authentic. It is false. This is a lie. First of all, no, the hadith is not authentic. The hadith is and was graded by some scholars Hassan. Okay. Now I agree to that. Let's keep on moving.
What does Hassan means reliable? Hassan means, no, let's just get our terms right. When you say Hassan means reliable, right? I know, I understand that. Just define the term. What is Hassani?
Al-Arnadut, it is da'if. That's the point. So
does Hassan mean reliable, yes or no?
So from what I heard and what I researched and saw.
So you're just afraid to answer. You're afraid to answer. I said, does Hassan mean reliable, yes or no?
It's Sahih. The hobby rates Sahih.
Sahih means authentic, and Hassan means reliable, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
exactly. So if there's multiple people and there's a clear chain showing that it's either Hassan or Sahih, you can't just because of one person saying it's Da'if, you can't throw that out. Your own Sunni, your own Sunnah would not allow you to do that, right? No. Those are authentic chains from life.
Here's the full claim. The full claim is it's not even just Hassan. It's Hassan and Da'if. You know why? Because that's what the scholars have reported about that saying. So to come off first and say, no, it's a hadith that is sahih, authentic, as if everyone's going to say, oh, it's authentic for them. Perfect, we got them. No, actually, it's not just Hassan, it's Hassan and Da'if. You need to understand that.
So, I don't even know what any of that means, but I'll just say this, it shows, well, hold on, you talked. I said, Al-Hakim labeled the Isnad as Sahih, meaning it means the conditions of authenticity of Bukhari or Muslim. And Al-Dahabi affirmed this status as well, right? So, and all the narrators in the chain are recognized as trustworthy or thiqah, and honest means Saduk, right? By classical scholars, including Sufyan, Muhammad ibn Sirin, Nu'aym ibn Abi Hind, and Abu Yahya al-Hamiyani, right? So those people are considered authentic. They're not considered to be liars. They're considered to be reliable people, right? So it's not going to be upon you to say something like, hey, even though these people said it's Sahih or Hassan, that you can just throw it out the window. You cannot do that under your own jurisprudence.
There is a variant from another report in the chain, meaning there's a red flag. That's what I pointed out.
But if you have 8 people saying it's good and one person saying it's bad,
I mean, can you just give me a second to
hear my claims? All right. So there is a variant. That's one. Second, I told you, look at the scholarly consensus on these hadith. You will come up with 2 definitive claims. Do the research. Don't believe me. Do the research. Look for sources for that. You will see. It is disputed. It is either Hassan, which means reliable, or Da'if, which means weak. So it is in one of these 2 categories, not the first claim that Phoenix said when I came into the discussion, which he claimed that it was Sahih, authentic, with no dispute. You need to understand the difference, guys. Because if you don't understand that difference,
MD,
you'll have a difficulty to.
Alright, MD, what's up? What's up, MD? You've been wanting to talk for a while. What's up?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to have a short discussion on this thing. So I was listening for a while, and I think that as you have respectfully said that there are 2 opinions. The first one is which brother have said that some scholars says that it's Da'if hadith, and some says that it's Hassan. So I'm assuming that you already know about what Hassan means actually. The thing is, which I feel is which is more important to establish, is that how do you define this as a sexual act, first of all? What are the foundations of establishing this thing as
We never said it was sexual. We just said he tongue kissed a young boy.
Yeah. So from this thing, what do you want to establish?
That he tongue kissed a young boy. That's it.
So what does this define actually?
Listen, I don't give a fuck if he tongue kissed someone. I think it's much more evil that he did other things. A lot of Muslims are very homophobic.
How does it
Many Muslims are very homophobic, and the fact that you guys are freaking out about that this might be Sahih,
seems that you think that it's bad.
I'm not going on
You don't
that
just
way.
say, oh, maybe you tongue kiss the young boy, whatever, no big deal. But you don't feel that way because you guys are the ones that are freaking out about the idea that maybe Muhammad is doing gay shit.
Sorry, I just want to know. I just ask you a simple question: how do you think that's an evil thing, or that's something which is disputable, something like that?
Okay, I think it's immoral to tongue kiss in a pedophilic way young children. I think this
so. How do you have to first establish that it was a pedophilic way?
I don't give that much of a fuck about this. It's much worse to do other things that Muhammad did. It is you guys. If you want to say, hey, it's not morally bad to tongue kiss children, men to tongue kiss children, you can say that. Then why are you fighting on us that it's maybe Sahih? Because we're not claiming that it's Hassan. We're claiming that it's Sahih. That they're two different
I'm not
scholars
disputing on that. You're just wasting your time. I'm saying that let's say, for example, it's a Sahih or it's a Hassan, for example. So you have to define how does the act establish as pedophilia. You have to define that first.
Okay. Usually what we mean by pedophilia is doing sexual things with young children. So usually what we mean by sexual acts is kissing, touching the genitals of, touching the breasts of, touching the anus of, penetrating. It's usually what we mean by sexual acts. So if I tongue kiss, a 13-year-old girl, most people say that's sexual because kissing, penetrating, breast touching, butt touching, butthole touching, pussy touching, those things are what we usually call as sexual activities.
Okay, so let's make this as a foundation. Let's start with the kissing thing. So if a parent
You said
or a
tongue kissing.
grandparent has
Tongue kissing. People don't. We're not talking about just lips touching to somebody. That's not in question. The idea is that if you tongue kiss somebody, nobody in this world thinks that that's not sexual. So we're not going to argue with you. We're not going to have you say you need to establish that tongue kissing somebody is not considered sexual. We're not going to have that discussion.
Please don't extend that. I am not debating on that thing. Okay.
So you accept that tongue kissing is bad? Is sexual?
No, I don't.
So what do you mean you're not debating? That is the debate. The debate is tongue kissing considered a sexual act?
That's what I'm establishing. Yeah, that's what I'm establishing. According to you, it's a sexual act, and according to the different cultures, it can be different things. For example, so you believe that kissing genitals and kissing all these like lip kissing. Let's say, for example, you term the lip kissing of children is termed as a sexual act. So tongue kissing is very example.
It's always funny to me seeing the fucking bullets that Muslims will bite, right? They just bite the goofiest bullets ever, right? They're standing here trying to say, like, you need to establish that shoving your tongue down somebody's mouth is not considered sexual. You need to establish that.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to think it is sexual.
No, it's very clear. It's very. So, brother, can you give me a second, please?
In front of other people, okay? Just.
So you asked me to look. You asked me to look up the Chat GPT. So here's what I said. I said, are there any scholars that rated it as weak, and if so, why? It's this great question. Well, Hadith 4791 was graded Sahih and affirmed by Al-Dahabi, and some later Sunni scholars questioned the reliability of certain narratives, and it's changed. Here's what the scholar said. No, I'm not. We're not. This was a discussion before, right? Some scholars of Hadith criticism didn't necessarily reject the text, but they raised concern about the specific narrators of the Isnad. Here's the key figures in question, right? And so it says some early critics like Ibn Ma'in and Ibn Hibban considered him weak. Others like Al-Nasai and Al-Daraqti noted errors in his hadith. The defense is, however, others like Ibn Adi thought his narrations were acceptable in non-legal contexts, especially if supported by other chains. Right? So the conclusion, the majority of classical scholars accepted the hadith due to its strong emotional and spiritual content and the general reliability of most narrators. A few scholars noted potential weakness in the Isnad, mainly due to Ibn Yahya al-Hamani, but not enough to fully dismiss the hadith, especially the category of virtues, where standards are slightly more lenient. So there you go. You asked me to do the research, I did it for you.
So there you go. You just proved it's not an offense.
So no,
thank you very much.
What do you mean? You didn't prove it at all. I didn't fucking. Bro, what are you talking about? Most people thought it was
is enough doubt. You have to just there is enough doubt for somebody like Amin to come and say he doesn't accept it. I totally accept Amin's logic on this one. I have to say that.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? The point is the Sunni, in Sunni jurisprudence, you are not allowed to just outright reject hadiths that are considered Sahih or Hasan, right? Now, you could say, well, there was one or two people that thought they weren't, but most of the people do. And that would just not be going within jurisprudence of the Sunni, right? Not at all. In the context of the Sunnah, that's not going to work.
If you want to convince a Muslim, and then there is this little slither of a doubt on a hadith like this, do you think they're not going to take it? I would take it. I would do exactly the same thing if somebody came with some, manuscript from the church fathers or something like that, and I saw even the slightest slither of doubt on a strange, I'll just term it strange.
No, you're just
confirmation bias. That's just confirmation bias.
Yeah, you're just explaining confirmation.
If I show you 10 studies that say, oh, this is the effect of minimum wage, and then there's one study that contradicts the 10, and you go, I'm going to go with the one. That's you just being literal, have confirmation bias. It's just the definition of confirmation bias. Now, I'm sure we can discuss Sufyan said, likely refers, is a highly reliable translator. Nuyam, Abi Him, Muhammad, is all considered thiqa. Abu Yahu, Al-Himana, and Al-Hassan Ibn Affan are also accepted in hadith circles. No known breaks in the chain, no accusations of tadlis, concealment. It is endorsed by major scholars such as Al-Hakim and Al-Dhahabi, who said they're both said it's sahih. It's consistent with other narrations. There are multiple authentic hadiths showing the Prophet expression to Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein. There's no known contradictions with the Quran. So it is not okay for you to just say, well, I don't like it, so I'm going to throw it out. That is just confirmation bias. You, at best, here's what you can say is, hey, it's probably true, but there's a little bit of doubt. That's what you can say.
Okay, thank you. Can I speak if you allow me? If we allow, sorry. Thank you. Okay. So first, let's go in a very simple and logical way. Let's say, for example, and just please let me know who I'm talking to, either Sam or Tim or Lula. So, yeah, thank you. So, and just to be respectful, I want that please others don't kind of like jump in between. If you want, you can raise your hand. So it will be like a very good conversation where people can understand everything, even in the audience as well. So first of all, let's giving you the benefit of doubt. And let's say I do agree with you in terms of like many scholars say is that, for example, it's Hassan. So we have consensus that there are some scholars who is agreeing. I don't have any problem with that. The thing which you have to establish first of all is this, as I discussed earlier, is that you have to establish that the tongue kissing is something pedophilic. We have to first establish that foundation. So just to ask you a clarification question to some, because I'm not to you. So can you define first of all that if a parent or a grandparent is touching his or her own kid or grandkid in a tongue, so do you think, or on lips, let's say for example, is it pedophilic according to you?
Yeah, so there are a number of, yes, and a number of actions that have taken.
What evidence do you have?
Here's some things that if I saw a parent do to their child, I would say was child molestation. So if I saw a parent tongue kiss, blow a job, stick their tongue in the anus, stick their penis in the anus, put their penis in their vagina as well, rubbing their penis to their breast, sucking on their breasts, I would consider all of these child molestation.
Okay, just can we stick to the thing which we have, which we are discussing about the tongue kiss? Are you bringing all of multiple things into the same thing?
You wanted to know what standard to judge something as child molestation, and I gave you that.
Yeah. So what does it? Okay. So just to be very streamlined, what is your evidence of like if you believe that that tongue kissing by someone is deemed to be a sexual act? So what is your evidence? Is Is it just what you believe, or is it coming from something which is very solid?
Well, given that most men, if they caught their wives tongue kissing other men, they would divorce them. Given that throughout all of American culture and Western culture, they define first base as tongue kissing, and second base as titty kissing, and third base as blowjobs, and it's like considered the first base on the sort of sexual escalation ladder. The fact that tongues are erogenous zones, and that like it's a very common thing to do during sex to tongue kiss someone. Those are sort of 3 lines of evidence.
Okay, so if you can, you just correct me as well. So what I can comprehend from your speech was that you were saying that according to the Western values, the tongue kissing is deemed to be an act of pedophilia, even if it's done by the parent or a grandparent. Please just let me know if I'm wrong.
You asked me whether it's sexual or not. You didn't ask me whether it counts as pedophilia or not.
You talked about the act.
Yes, the act of tongue kissing.
And the act. Just let me clarify my position as well.
What percent of the world considers tongue kissing to be a sexual act? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about the matter.
You can ask ChatGPT, no problem with that. But the thing is that you talked about the act. So act also have kind of like an intention behind it. So we will not debate on that. Whatever intention can be. I'm just concerned about acting. So you have to, as you said, according to Western values, if someone, is it either parent or grandparent or any other random guy who kisses someone's child's tongue is an act of pedophilia. Just please clarify on that if I'm correct on that to your answer.
Is that a common practice in the Eastern world to tongue kiss?
Can you clarify that, some please?
Well, what you're saying is what we see it, how we see it in the Western world. So I'm asking you, is that culturally acceptable in the Eastern world for grandparents and parents to tongue kiss their children? Is that a thing?
Yes, I'll give you some examples, but just to give you a more respectful thing. I was talking to Sam. If Sam allows you, so you can take his position as well, because I want to talk to one person at a time. It's very seamless.
I asked, in the Arab world, would you be allowed to tongue kiss men who are not your husband? And it says, in the Arab world, tongue kissing a man who's not your husband would almost universally be considered sexual inappropriate, moral misconduct, tantamount to cheating, a form of zina.
You're talking about, you said, who are the subjects? The husband? Are you talking about how do you talk about husband?
I said, if a woman tongue kisses a man who is not the woman's
so in the hadith, it is a woman and man?
I'm giving you evidence that tongue kissing is seen as sexual.
So you're choosing the wrong subjects here.
Why is that?
You're talking about a grandparent and a child. So you have to take those two foundations to establish that.
You're asking about tongue kissing? You're asking about tongue kissing? And in the Arab world, tongue kissing is considered sexual. It says overwhelmingly that you could lead to legal punishment in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. It could be considered fornication, aka zina. It is not acceptable in any Arab world to tongue kiss someone who is not your wife or your husband. You cannot do it.
Problem with that. So what? I don't disagree with you on that part. So what's the problem?
Okay, I'm talking about this. Is that you're? I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I'm going to make a bigger picture here. A bigger picture here. The bigger picture here is it is widely considered immoral to tongue kiss young children because we're in the West. We consider pedophilia.
So you have to.
But I will say, I would say
ChatGPT to find.
Shut the fuck up when I'm in the middle of speaking. Are you actually fucking broken that you can't just let me finish a thought? So the problem with Muhammad's character is he had sex with a 9-year-old named Aisha. He had sex with a sex slave like Maria the Coptic. He married a woman right after killing her husband, that's Safiya. He initiated aggressive military actions against Khaybar. He owned slaves. He traded 2 black slaves for an Arab slave. He stopped visiting his second wife because she was getting too old and started visiting Aisha instead. And then he tongue kissed a young boy.
The Prophet Muhammad is not a moral man. It is he is a warlord, pedophile, murderer who has sex with slaves. He's a slave rapist, a slaver. He's a homosexual, kisses young boys. He's a pedophile. And you're trying to tell me that he is the beacon of the world who we should follow. The View is clownish. And it's unbelievable. And what you should do, rationally, when hearing this information is go, I will not be a Muslim anymore because this is silliness. This is childish silliness.
Just a quick moment. I need to go. I need to go to sleep, Sam. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. So, are you finished your percent?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, coming back to the same thing again, the thing that you have found out on ChatGPT, you yourself have made it very clear. It talked about a man kissing another woman on the tongue. The thing that you were discussing before, if I'm not wrong, was about the hadith where Prophet Muhammad was having a tongue kiss with his grandchild. So why don't you just search that as well if you want, and let us know if it's in our culture. And apart from that, even so, before you search, or meanwhile any other person can who's having some Western values, they can maybe answer that. What if you meet a new guy who's an Arab, or let's say for example, let's talk about in USA for example, you meet someone, a random new strange person, and you start to kiss on their cheeks, you start to kiss on their nose, you start to kiss on their head, meeting the random person, new person. So is it act of what you will consider? Is it a gay act? So somehow.
Can I tongue kiss you by the chance? Would you consent to tongue kissing me?
I'm not talking about the tongue kiss. I want you to hear my. I want you to hear my conversation.
Sam, this is honestly the dumbest line of reasoning I've ever heard. It's so stupid.
Can you stop trash talking?
No, I can't, because like what you're saying is so stupid. You're trying to say something like the burden of proof is on us to prove to you that tongue kissing somebody is not sexual.
If you're going to jump in between, there's no point of talking because.
Can we tongue kiss, MD, please? I'm begging you, man. Please tongue kiss me. Okay. In the Muslim world, it says tongue kissing between an adult and a child, even if they're related like a grandfather or granddaughter, which can be considered inappropriate, uncomfortable, even disturbing. It says that most Muslims today do not engage in such practices and view that kind of contact as strange and inappropriate, even if it was meant affectionately and not sexually. So yes, in most Muslim countries today, it would be seen as inappropriate. So it says on ChatGPT.
See,
let me get this straight.
Yeah, can you
So let me get this straight. This is the person that has come into this room that is just trying to justify Muhammad's French kissing a little boy. Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, to me, I don't know why people are defending this narration because it's weak. Like you just put
Sahih narration chat. It's Sahih and it's Hasan. It's created as Sahih.
The chain is broken.
No, it's not. It's not broken. No. Are you muhaddid? Nizam. Are you muhaddid?
No, it's like
just let me finish, then I'll be. Because there's a lot of trash talking going on there, so there's just some bias.
The audience investigate. Nizam.
You can if you want.
Yeah, but it seems like I have to quote you. I have to quote you in this case because.
No.
First of all, are they even muhaddith? It's Muslim Ahmed, dude. It's Muslim Ahmed.
Yes. Wait, what?
Are they muhaddith?
Hold on.
We're not talking about this, dude. You have no idea what we're talking about. It's not the one on my PTR. We're talking about the hadith. We're talking about the hadith that says that your prophet French kissed his own grandson.
Yes,
the one that
I saw that. I know. It's the one that Sam posted. The Hakim, Al-Hakim, which is not Muslim Ahmed, it's a different book. It's Al-Hakim 4791.
There are three hadiths
hadiths that we posted. One of them was Musnad Ahmad, and the other one is the one that you're currently reading, which is Hakim. So there are many different narrations of the same event, same multiple source hadith.
To be honest, my first instinct as a Muslim is to say that, like, it wouldn't be befitting of the Prophet to do something like that, right? Like French kissing and whatever, or putting his tongue in a child's mouth.
The more important question is, if your Prophet did it, are you okay with it?
No, but that doesn't mean that like it doesn't, like it may chip away my belief in being a Muslim a little bit, even if it's, let's say, true, if I grant it that, oh, like this is something that actually happened, it's authentic, like that may like raise some questions, right? Like why would the Prophet do this? But again, like I would appeal to like maybe something that was contextual, maybe something that was okay at the time, maybe that was like a custom or something, like, you know, I mean, but to be honest with you, I can't find like an authentic narration that you know, if you could post the one,
We found them.
post the one, post the other one, because the one that Sam posted in the chat, the one in Hafiz 4791, that one is weak. That one is a broken.
I can even show you that Adab al-Mufrad. I can even show you that Adab al-Mufrad, where basically even Albani grades it as Hassan, but still it's better. It's still reliable. It's 100% reliable.
Yeah, I mean we can no, of course. Okay, look. The other thing that needs to be clarified is that there can be a hadith that is sahih, meaning that its grade is very correct. It's a very high graded hadith. Like it's, you know, like it's preserved. The confidence that we have that the Prophet said or did something is very high. But that doesn't mean that it has to be sahih to follow. Not every hadith is something that we have to. For example, one time the Prophet said to kill Jews that broke the treaty and we're plotting against them. Like he said that. Now I can quote that hadith to you. That doesn't mean that I have to kill all the Jews that I see now. There's certain instructions that the Prophet gave that were only applicable to a certain group of people at a specific time. So like there's that aspect of just because it's sahih does not mean it's sahih to follow, right? And obviously the scholars of Islam that meticulously try to go through which ones were general commandments and which ones were specific to an individual or a group. Like these things matter, right? So the ones that you would bring, we'd have to go through them again. But the one that I see is that was good.
The fact that Hakim, Tabani, and Albani all say it's either Sahih or Hassan is like very strong evidence, man. And
So here's, I want him to read it because I'm quoting Sunnah.com this time, so I'm not going to go get it from the Reddit post. So that's legit. So go ahead and read this.
Wait, I realized Rustin regarded these cultures out with his mouth and his mouth. And he said, "Oh, I love him, so love him." And well, in this one, the voice is like this, like,
put his mouth in his mouth, like, I love him, so love him. That's not. What the hell is wrong with you?
But let me. Great Hassan, Adabu Mufrad.
He just he put his mouth in his mouth. In his mouth, and then he said, "Oh Allah, I love him, so love him, and the one who loves him." Dude, if I ever talk like that to my grandson, my own son would probably kick my ass.
Well, I'm not disagreeing that that's problematic, but let me just see like what the context is of this. Hold on, let me just like go through this.
It's fine for you to go through that concept and his own, but the last guy that was talking was a total idiot. He was trying to say, well, you guys need to prove to me that tongue kissing is a sexual act, and why should I just take your assertion? Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to examine and justify that tongue kissing somebody is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, like obviously, like,
fucking bullets,
yeah. And you want to get some Muslims that don't know like the context or don't know like obviously like
tell me what the context is.
Right? Like,
tell me what the context is.
Hold on. Even this one is weak. Even the one in the novel trial is weak. Hold on.
Well, you missed out. We went through a whole whether it was Sadi or Hassan for like 30 minutes.
Don't lie to me because I'm looking at the same page that I just posted. It says, yeah, Albani Hassan. It says it right there.
Yeah, Albani is someone that no one takes from, bro. Like, hold on.
Are you serious? Guys, Albani, nobody takes from
Hakim, Zahabi, and Albani all graded as Sahih or as Hassan.
It's one of the greatest, most famous
Phonics.
there is.
Isn't it crazy? These two routes that these Muslims are going. One route the Muslims are going are it's not sexual, and the other route is that all these scholars that say it's Sahih, they don't count. It's like fucking crazy. The fucking gymnastics.
This is crazy, dude.
I'll tell you what. So Albani wrote Saha Sitta again. He wrote Bukhari again. He wrote Muslim again. He deemed a lot of hadith that were Sahih to be daif. He made them weak, and he read a lot of weak narrations to be Sahih. He didn't have an agenda. And to be honest with you, the scholars of Islam will tell you that he could have
Dude, I want you to, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Okay, because I know the reputation of Albani. I know the reputation of Albani because I studied under him. By the way, let me tell you who I studied under. I studied under Abdullah bin Humayd. Okay, if anybody knows who he is, he used to be the Chief Justice Minister of the Court Chief Justice Minister of Saudi Arabia. Okay, he and his father studied, guess who, under Albani. So if you're going to tell me that one of the greatest scholars of all time, which by the way, he's known as one of the muhaddiths of all muhaddiths, okay, in this regards, and you're telling me that the vast majority of Muslims today don't actually consider him one of the greatest muhaddithin, I want you to go to your local mosque right now, record, saying, by the way, I think Albani is a liar, a deceiver, and he should not be considered a muhaddith.
No. Look. First of all, it doesn't work like that. Like, okay, let me just read this, yeah? The English translation of Fadakhila Nisana Fihi, right? It's translated as putting his mouth in his mouth, right? But does this necessitate tongue kissing? No, that is a misinterpretation. This phrase in Arabic could also mean the Prophet playfully touched Al-Hasan's mouth with his hand, a cultural expression of endearment for children like blowing a raspberry. Not a French kiss.
Shit's crazy, is that?
Forbidden